Hey, my name is AZAN Lee. We are back again, and I'm so grateful that you're still a part of this journey with me. Let's go. You can think about Abraham, where God told Abraham, "I'm going to send you to a land that you haven't seen, you don't know much about, but I'm going to send you there, and you're going to prosper. Your children will prosper." And along the way, Abraham got little glimpses and information about what God wanted to do in his life, how he was going to make him a father of nations, how this one person was going to be a daddy to as many people as you can equate to the sand on the seashore, that many people, or the amount of stars that you can see in the sky. You can't count it. And that's the amount of people that God was going to allow him to be a father to. Now, when you hear information like that, or when you have a grand vision of that magnitude, it is really hard to grasp, and it's really hard to fathom how you, one person, could ever get to a place where your life has so much meaning and your life has so much impact. It's hard to grasp it, it's hard to digest it, it's hard to fathom it, especially when your scope and your view has been limited to just what you know. So it really takes a level of faith to make those steps, to say, I'm not sure exactly how I'm getting there, when I'm getting there, or what it's going to look like when I arrive, but I'm trusting and believing that if I take steps, if I am kind of intentional of just following what I believe God wants me to do. And the beautiful part about it is, when you're a believer and when you put your trust in God, the Bible tells us that his plans for us are for good and not for evil. So ultimately, if I'm following what I believe is the will of God, I'm going to be good. If I'm pressing forward towards what I believe God wants me to do, or the destination that I believe God is trying to bring me, even if I don't know the full scope of it, if I just have glimpses or an idea that I should be doing this, or he has empowered me or gifted me with these strength, these tools, if I exercise these, they will bring me into the company of the right individuals that will propel me to my next phase in life. The Bible talks about your gift making room for you, right? Creating spaces and avenues for you. And those very same avenues and spaces that you will get the opportunity to step into will bring you into the company, or your gifts will bring you into the company of great individuals. And when you think about great individuals, you're not just thinking about somebody that's going to write you a check for $1. You're not just thinking about great individuals that are just going to be nice to you or applaud you. You're thinking about great individuals that have the opportunity or the potential to help you get into even bigger spaces, right? God has gifted you and empowered you, and that gifting, empowered, those tools, those skills, those talents have the opportunity to create space. And then those other individuals that probably are also gifted and talented and working in their God-given calling is going to have the potential to allow you to step into even greater arenas and greater spaces. You really just have to, even if you don't know, and this is what I'm going to say to myself as well as to everybody else, even if you're not 100% sure where the end goal is, have an idea of who you are, who God has created you to be, right? Put some stock, put some value into that self-reflection, and then work on that, right? If you believe, or you have a passion for speaking, if you have a knack for art or creativity, if you have a knack for whatever it is that you constantly find yourself doing, right? And when you do it, even if you're nervous about doing it, when you start, it feels natural, it feels good, you're in a comfortable place. Focus on those things. Focus on those giftings, focus on those talents, and allow it to make room. And the room that it's going to allow you to see a greater or wider picture. And don't just assume that the room is going to go from a 4x4 to a football field. It may go from that closet space to a living room space, and it may move from your living room space to now just an office, and then it may move from that office to a floor, and the floor to the building, and then the building to the street, and then the street to, a whole city now knows your name and knows the impact that God has allowed you to have. So don't despise your humble beginnings, and really begin to take inventory of who God has created you to be and what God has placed on the inside of you, and begin to put your energy and emphasis and fuel behind those things. And you will begin to see some new things happening in your world. Opportunities will open up for you that you never thought would happen. You may not even have thought you would be interested in doing it, but the opportunities will present themselves. And when they do, because you have exercised your gifts and talents, you will be ready for them. And a lot of times opportunities are not made available to us because we have not exercised before that. So how can I rightfully step to a bench plate and try to bench 200 pounds and I've never even touched 25, right? So don't despise your humble beginnings. Don't despise the baby steps that you have to take in order to get to that greater phase or that next level in life. Really take time to work on those little things. Lift the 25 before you jump to the 200. A lot of times we want to become superstars. We want to become great. We want everybody to know our names. And if they knew your name right now, if they give you an opportunity right now, if they gave you a platform right now, if they said, hey, we believe that God wants to use you, if we say, hey, we believe that you have something to offer this world, if they gave it to you right now, a lot of us would flop. A lot of us would not make it. So don't be offended when people say it's not your time yet. Take the time to work on yourself. Don't be offended when people say, oh, you're good, but nah, not yet. Don't be offended. Because that can be an honest reflection that you have to take into yourself. It's not saying not at all. It's not saying that you're completely trash. It's not saying throw it all away. It's saying that you can make it here. You just have to do the work to get there.